Would you give a warm welcome to Zhao Yang?
Hello. Pretty big stage. Well, now that you know my background, you typically know what I get asked at cocktail parties. So usually people walk around and they approach me and they usually ask me, well, my God, did you grow up as a farmer? And you know, it's very obvious that I grew up farming. And I like to think of myself as a gentleman farmer. And the second question people typically ask me is, I have an idea. I want to do social acts, social video, social picture, social theater. I want to make something that's big. And how do I do it? Well, it's a long story, but I'm going to try to summarize it for you guys here. So, you come up with an idea. It can be kind of a traditional media, it can be existing IP, and you want to make it social. You want to make it the next Dig, the next YouTube, the next Farmville, the next Quora. And maybe, you know, just maybe the next Facebook. But how do you do it? Is it adding some like buttons? Is it adding some comment buttons? How do you exactly do it? There's usually a huge chasm in what people want to do and the actual product. So let's start with the basics. Humans need to be heard. Whenever you sit down at lunch or dinner, you want the other person to interact with you. Even shy people want to interact. They just want to do it on their own terms, with a smaller group. And people want to relate, they want status, they want to be heard, and they want to be understood. So fundamentally, it's positive reinforcement for every given action that you do. You can say something, you can do something, and you want positive reinforcement. And what's the value of that? Well, the value of that is seen in the opposite. As you can see in this very heart-wrenching picture, you can feel your heart literally drop. And emotional pain, or the opposite of positive reinforcement, actually affects the same center of your brain as physical pain. So literally, if you get rejected, it will feel the same as if someone hit you. So we have that as the fundamental underpinnings, but you know, how do we design the product? Well, let's start with principle one. Once you know that people like to have positive emotions and like to achieve certain things, ultimately you want the community to be designed so that you have something to aspire to. It can be popularity, it can be expertise, it can be attractiveness, it can be almost anything that you can think of. And then, what you do is you display ego statistics. Statistics to massage and stroke your soul and your ego, effectively. You know, stroking men's egos. Thank you. And you want a visible display and a counter that indicates as a measurement of your progress within kind of your own closeted community. And the third principle for physics primer, one of Newton's law is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the way to design your product is so that every given action has an equal and opposite positive reaction. It can't be negative, that's why there's no dislike button on Facebook. It can be likes, it can be comments, it can be thank yous, it can be anything that you can think of. And the fourth principle is once you have that action and that reaction, then you distribute it to existing social channels, whether it's Google, whether it's Facebook, or Twitter. And that's probably why you guys get so many Foursquare spam in your feeds. For the people that actually use Foursquare. I kind of live in this technology bubble where, and so once you have those actions and reactions, you essentially have this cycle. This, Zuckerberg calls it social incentives and social rewards. It's effectively a feedback loop that allows you to do something, you get a positive emotion, and then you get a notification, and it just keeps on feeding on itself. And the key thing is, this is where product design comes in, is to look at your user flow and minimize the steps and gear towards simplicity so that this is as frictionless as possible. And if you do that correct, you'll get social cocaine. Or if if you're only above average, you'll get kind of a chain smoker or something of that effect. And I guess it brings to the point, what is the point of this? So I want to end with a story. I was 18. I started in University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and at school is absolutely massive. I remember in orientation, we were in a stadium, and the chancellor was speaking to us, and there were literally 34,000 people in the undergrad class. And then when I was 21, I discovered a site called the Facebook, and it shrunk the college down to the person that was sitting next to me in the courses, the girl I wanted to meet in the course, and whoever I wanted to interact with on my college campus. And so that's what social design is for me. It essentially packages hugs within a website. Thank you.
Okay, it's time for another break, so everybody get up.